Drug Enforcement Agency to reveal findings on United Democratic Party's drug investigations. Former Attorney General says he advised against all decrees violating rights of Gambians. And Justice Ministry appears before Parliament to give overview of elections bill. This and more coming on Gambia 24. Good evening, you're watching Gambia 24 News with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. The Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force Assistant Superintendent Lamin Jai says the case of the suspect Yusufa Jabang, who is arrested in connection with alleged cannabis while driving yellow UDP pickup, is now under the Drug Enforcement Officers for further investigations. According to the top official, the drug squad will reveal their findings after investigations. Khadija Desega tells us more.
In a press conference on Monday, the United Democratic Party flag bearer Usainu Dabo revealed that they received intelligence that there were people planning to taint the party's name by planting drugs. The police, however, said the Drug Enforcement Agency will reveal the truth surrounding the drug issue after investigations.
And so further investigations at the Drug Law Enforcement Agency perhaps will reveal what the quantity or how much or where it is being found. But as far as our arresting officers and the patrol are concerned, this is the situation that they have found, and it was accordingly transferred to the necessary authorities for further check.
The police PRO said in executing police patrol duties, the officers are expected to work within the professional ethics of the service.
Well, we know that our officers are professional, and when they go on about their job, they are expected to act within professional parameters in terms of executing their duties. And so we rely on the fact that they've been professional in handling this situation.
The United Democratic Party issued a statement making it categorically clear that the driver at the time of the incident is not a member of the party, but a mechanic tasked to repair the vehicle in question. Khadija Seka, iAfrica News.
The United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation has donated 200,000 face masks to Rafaela, a women empowerment group, through the mayor of the Banjul City Council. The donation, which took place in the capital city, was executed by the United Nations Development Programme representative to the Gambia. Madam Day hoped that the masks will help in the fight against COVID-19 by reducing the number of cases. Aminda Ofas in this report.
According to the 297th National Situation Report since the confirmation of the first case of the coronavirus disease in the Gambia, the total number of deaths stands at 170. As of Tuesday evening, 51 new cases were registered, taking the total number of COVID-19 cases ever confirmed in the country to 5,784. This is what Rafaela, a network of locally elected women in Africa, aims to counter with the support from the United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation. Saturday, the United Nations Development Programme representative to the Gambia said the face masks will be useful in reducing the number of cases.
This donation has, as I said, is very timely because we know we have a vaccine campaign already rolled out by the government of the Gambia with the participation of the people, and we appeal to everybody who is here and who is listening to go and get the vaccine. But we also know that while we are getting the vaccine, we still need our face mask to continue social distancing and to continue the struggle together against the COVID. And we are very delighted to stand here on the name of the United Nations Office of the South-South Cooperation that we supported, and I cannot thank also Thomas who helped us, our procurement officer, to make sure that we stand here today to receiving this material and these face masks, and that will for sure help to reduce the number of cases that we are having and move forward in the achievement of the SDGs as part of the priorities that we have.
Rahim Malik Low, the president of Rafaela, who doubles as the mayor of the Banjul City Council, highlighted the importance of their intervention.
because from nekk soo génnee ci biti.
These donated face masks are not a small thing, because right now when you go out, you see that a single face mask can be costing $10. So if you take out one packet of face mask containing 2,000 pieces, multiply it by $10, that will give you $20,000. That 20,000 multiply it by 200,000, you will know that these standing items here right now are very important. But what we want is the ones going to receive this mask to use it as expected and to benefit from it as well, because the donors want us to give it to the deserving ones.
From the receiving point, Madam Lowe said that the mask will be further distributed to targeted regions, markets, health centers, and other public places across the country. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
As the price of basic commodities continue to increase, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment on Monday held a press conference to address the issue. CDK Keita, the Minister of Trade, says external factors such as rice, frozen chicken and cement are the principal cause of price increment in basic commodities, adding that it is beyond their control. Amindao again.
The recent increment of basic commodities has raised a great concern for Gambians, especially ordinary citizens. Consumers, traders, and vendors have blamed one another for the sudden hike in prices of the commodities. According to the Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, CDK Keita, the pandemic has scaled out the global production level and the international commodity prices have been surging from April 2020. Mr. Keita said the external factors are responsible for the rise in prices of essential commodities, adding that it is beyond their control.
As can be observed from above, these external factors account for more than 80% of the increase in the domestic prices. These external factors are the principal cause of the increase and are beyond our control and can only be ameliorated when the global production and associated shock to the supply chain recovers. According to the World Food Programme, as of April 16, 2021, food prices in West Africa have jumped by more than 30% since last year, to their highest level in nearly a decade due to coronavirus lockdowns and a decline in production. The Economist Global Commodity Index, food for food, has increased by 39% in the year to April 13, 2020. This was sourced from the Economist magazine as of 17th of April on Saturday.
According to Yankuba Dabo, the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, they have created a direct delivery fee for all business individuals.
We also have given them the opportunity for what we call a direct delivery facility, DD. It means that for those who are not very much involved in the international trade, if you have goods at the port, you take care of the expenses of the ports and other stakeholders. Your goods are there, and at the time we know life is difficult, you don't have the money to pay, you will apply, and then the GRA will give you what we call the facility, direct delivery facility. You will have these goods taken out of the port to your premises or to your shop, and you can make sales after 30 days, then you can come back and pay. And I think this is a big burden, that was lifted from the heads of the business community, in the sense that instead of you pay upfront, we are now allowing you to take the goods with you, and then after 1 month or 45 days, you come back and settle it.
The Director General for Gambia Competition, Consumer Protection Commission, Amadou Cisse, revealed that they have engaged suppliers to rest on the treasure on what a wholesale should be. The ministry promised to work with the government to do everything possible to ensure that the essential commodities are available, accessible.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, in collaboration with ECOWAS senior officials, has on Monday briefed the Vice President on hydromet and disaster platforms for West African countries at the State House in Banjul. The annual meeting, according to officials, started 2 years ago and is designed to look at ways to address the issues of hydromet and disaster risks in Africa. Nesise has the rest of that.
As the Gambia is not an exception to natural disasters and hydromet, ECOWAS officials came together to discuss with the country's Vice President, Dr. Issa Toure, to find ways to improve hydromet and disaster issues in the West African sub-region. The Commissioner of Social Affairs and Gender at the ECOWAS Commission, Siga Fatima Jain, described the meeting as important, noting that it will help the member states to work together to reduce disaster-related issues. Commissioner Jain said it is a privilege for the Gambia as a country to be part of the meeting.
I think the Vice President and the Minister are very encouraged because this is something that is really needed in Gambia and that they're happy that we are actually having the meeting in Gambia. It's a privilege for Gambia to have this meeting and it's a need that they also have, but also Gambia is going to be showcased as a country where we can use the technical information that we are discussing to improve the disaster risk and to also improve the hydromet issues, make sure that we tackle them before they get big by doing predictions in terms of knowing when the rain is coming, how much will come so that the farmers will be prepared, knowing which areas will be flooding so people can avoid them. So these are the things that we will be discussing at the technical level.
Siga Fatima Jain added that it is important to work on risk reduction to make sure that they are able to dig floods, fires and other natural disasters in countries before they strike. Commissioner of Agriculture and Environment at the ECOWAS Commission said the meeting is important and strategic as it will help strengthen the capacity of hydromet and disaster in ECOWAS countries.
Because it's very important for this service to have the capacity to collect data, to analyze the data, and to prepare the good recommendation for high markers to decide and to assure the protection, the efficiency for all population in our country.
Many West African countries do not yet have enough hydrological capacity to collect, process and disseminate climate information and early warning to vulnerable communities. As a result, the proceedings of the ECOWAS Hydromet and Disaster Risk Reduction Platform, which was established in 2018, is an ECOWAS mission with contributions from the government of Cote d'Ivoire, World Bank and European Union, among others, to address the issues of hydromet and natural disasters in African countries. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
The report by Ndesise will take us to a quick break and we'll be right back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
coono di dem dëkk ba dëkka rawatina ba foofa ca Sénégal pour jëndi daal jeex na fii ci biir réew mi ak Stroll Company sa jaaxle jeex na waaw dineen defar bépp xeeti daal te itam dinay dégee rafet ci ay njëkk yu yomba compagnie bi lee di Stroll dineen la defaral daala aso bi fekkee ne danga nekk ci political party bugga nga nuroo leeg say waay ngay dem foofa ca Stroll Company ñi daal di la defaral daala bu dëgër baax te rafet moo xam itam danga am xew bugga sa yére nuroog sa daala demal seeti ñii di Stroll Company te emun ci loolu dineen la defaral sa daala si saasi boo demee ñi nata la nga toog wax leen li nga bëgga ñi defaral la ko te itam dineen defar daala si wholesale wala retail seeti leen foofa sa Suncu Alaaji te nag lu ci gën a neex mooy doomi Gambian moo ko moom teg ci di dimbale ay ndaw pour ñi am fu ñuy xëyee seeti leen foofa ca Suncu Alaaji ca Kunkujang Johnson boo demee rek di nga gis seen table nga daal di leen dem seeti sa xol nee nga am sa daale boo yàgg mi bét mun ngaa nemmeeku seen website bi si www.strollshops.com wala nga oo ñu si 7473692 wala 7150195 ak Stroll Company sa jaaxle jeex na ci dem beeg dëkk bi ci daala kese.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and still on Gambia 24. The Minister of Justice, Dawda A. Jallow, on Tuesday reappeared before the National Assembly Joint Committee to give an overview of the elections bill taking into consideration existing Act and the 1997 Constitution. According to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mariam Jack Denton, members of the Parliament have gone through the bill, but more inputs are needed from the Minister regarding the bill. More in this report by Ndai Sise.
Following the presentation of the Elections Bill 2020 before the National Assembly, the Minister of Justice, Dawda A. Jallow, gives an overview of the bill before the Parliament today. The Attorney General is required to assist and provide technical as well as relevant information for the purpose of the consideration of the bill. As diaspora voting has been a concern for Gambians, Dawda A. Jallow said the provision of allowing diaspora voting is left with IEC to come with clear regulations.
There is a provision allowing diaspora voting. It subjected it to IEC coming up with a clear regulation as to how they wanted to go about it, through inter-party consultations and possibly cabinet. But the fact that diaspora voting is allowed is provided for in the bill as well, in clear terms. But IEC is required to come up with clear regulations as to, for example, how would they choose country A and not B, where there are Gambians residing in both countries? What will be the criteria of selecting the countries? Probably there are regulations. We expect also they need to tell us how are they going to hire the electoral officials in those countries, places of carrying out these elections, a lot of things.
However, the nominated member Yakuma Jaite raised concerns as to how the diaspora voting will be done despite the lack of laws governing the process of the registration. In response, the Attorney General said the ministry has reminded the IEC about some of the challenges with regards to diaspora voting in the Constitution.
That we sent to IEC. As far as I'm aware, it is the ministry that spotted it and brought it to the IEC's attention. When it was brought to my attention, I asked my people immediately to inform them, let them write to them and inform them there is a challenge with respect to diaspora voting that we have spotted in the Constitution. So if they are saying they have sent and asked us to amend, because the request for amendment of the section, I received it on my desk, I think last week or week before. That's very recent. After we wrote to them and showed them this provision, they replied and said, if this is a problem, then we recommend it be amended.
The Elections Bill 2020 has been moved to the second reading stage for lawmakers to debate on the merits and the principles of the bill sometimes last month. As critics say, the current laws don't create a conducive environment for free, fair and transparent elections. This bill, if passed, will replace the existing laws in the country governing elections. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Former Attorney General and Minister of Justice Faba Idrissa Mbaye says he advised against all decrees violating the rights of Gambians during his time serving in the defunct AFPRC junta. Barrister Mbaye made the remarks on his second day of appearance before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Tuesday. Khadijatu Seka files in this report.
Fafa Mbaye says he was told to present a man with 2 sureties as a condition to fulfill his bail. He adds that it was Malamin Jane that bailed him from the police for $4 million and he now tells the commission what happened when he appeared at Algali Commission.
Now at the commission, the conclusion of the commission was that my tax liability is $1.5 million.
Ci gannaaw na commission bi lim jeexale moy suma nama nim tollu mu ngi dem ci $1 million ak lu tek.
I had already paid tax for the period. And by the analysis made by Panelka Foster, it was found that my tax was overpaid $50,000. Yet the commission came to the conclusion that I owe $1.5+ million.
Lambai further notes that Alaji Maritambidu bailed him out with property deeds. He recalls that he later challenged the tax liability but was asked to first pay half of what he was charged for, but says he refused. In 1996, he took the matter to Supreme Court that the charge against him contravened the law and was irrelevant, but it was struck out by the military decree. He instead received another heavy loss in return.
So by writ of Ferrer Fascis, dated 9 January 1996, the Inspector General of Police was commanded to seize and sell that of my goods and chattels found anywhere within the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, and caused to be levied the sum of $1,562,696, 28 butus, and also interest and cost of execution, which sum was by order of the Commission adjudged on 12 December 1995 to be paid by me.
Mr. Mbai, still reluctant to go by the Supreme Court order, filed an appeal at the Gambia Court of Appeal, but received a death threat this time around.
Then there followed threats to my life of being found 6 feet deep in the ground. The threat was first announced on Radio Gambia. The chairman has said all those advocating human rights, especially those who have just been sacked out of the government, may have to keep their mouths shut or they'll find themselves 6 feet deep.
According to him, he did not further pursue the court because he wanted to continue living. Lawyer Mbai says in January 1996, Yankuba Sonko, the Interior Minister, then officer commanding Combo Division, led a team of police officers to his residence at Fajar to serve him an eviction letter on orders of Justice Al-Ghali. He says among the things confiscated were his house, car, and furniture. For iAfrica TV, Omar Ahmadu Toure reporting.
Well, that report by Omar Ahmed Toure on the TRRC brings us to the end of Gambia 24. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and good evening.